Chinese companies admit that Kenyan tea and coffee is premium coffee, but today it is subjected to tariffs. And that is what impedes the export of our tea and coffee and macadamia and avocados to this country. And the discussion we are going to have is how we can have a preferential trade agreement that gives Kenya preferential access, the same way we have a AGOA that gives duty-free, quota-free access for our goods to the US. The discussion we're going to have is that of a duty-free, quota-free access to the Chinese market for our products. That way, we can export more to this country, export better products, and we're going this time around to be exporting processed agro-products into this market. I want to congratulate all of you, whether you're students or professionals or business people, for daring abroad and doing what you're doing in China, either sharpening your skills in schools, colleges, and universities, or you are deploying your knowledge and expertise in the professional space here in China, or those of you who are doing business. And when I ran for president, I did commit that I will have a diaspora department that will, whose business it will be to manage the affairs of Kenyans in diaspora, to respond to their issues, and to serve them so that we can better leverage on the expertise, the knowledge, the efforts of people in diaspora to drive the development of our country. I'm very happy with what Roslyn Jogu, my PS for Diaspora Affairs, working under PCS here, and him and his team with Isaiah here, and all the other members of that team will continuously work with the embassy staff to see to it that Kenyans in the diaspora are served as best as we can, just the same way we work for the rest of Kenyans at home.
While you are negotiating on the bilateral front, I would like you, Your Excellency, to know that there is a multilateral engagement between UN agencies in China and countries outside of China. So as a UN agency representative, and my colleagues do the same thing, we have a dual mandate. We engage on domestic issues in China, but it is my duty to ensure that the developing South benefits from China's vast South-South cooperation initiatives. And so, Your Excellency, we receive grant money. The UN system receives grant money from the Chinese government, from the Chinese public sector, to provide to countries primarily in Africa, because China prides itself with the friendship it has with African countries. I do want to ask, Your Excellency, on those engagements, your ambassador does very, very well. What we need is reciprocal attention and fast action in Kenya when those initiatives come up. Because I have to inform you that sometimes we see an opportunity here And remember, it is not only Kenya. Ghana is waiting. Ethiopia is around the corner. Rwanda is also keen. So we need to find a way to connect better around those initiatives that are available here for development in Africa. I want to thank His Excellency the Ambassador, because right now we have negotiated a partnership on the FOCAC, Africa Solar Belt, which is around renewable energy for essential services for children. This is coming to Kenya, but we can do much more. And I'm saying the pace is not as quick or as efficient as it could be.
We need to improve on the turnaround time for matters between embassies and headquarters.
Yes.
I think PS Korir and your team, you need to pull up your socks so that whenever there are issues that require headquarters to provide direction or to engage in a certain manner, we can improve on the efficiency around that turnaround time. And with the expanded mandate of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to include all the diaspora issues, and with an extra PS, I think there should be demonstrable progress in the efficiency around foreign affairs. And I agree with you that we need a country strategy. In fact, one of the issues I have discussed with Rosalind Jogu is how we can deliberately place Kenyans in some of the UN positions that arise. We have some of the best human capital anywhere in the world. There is no reason, absolutely, why we do not have undersecretaries in the United Nations. And therefore, I agree with you, and I'm sure the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi is going to provide leadership on that front. Is Kenya facing east to China, or is it facing west to the US? And I have answered that question that Kenya is neither facing east nor west. We are facing forward. And we want to build mutually beneficial win-win relationships with as many friends as possible. And my mission here this time round is to discuss, amongst many things, how we can invest in the future, not just of Kenya, but of our region, with support and partnership of friends like China and others. I have already had conversations on investment opportunities. Many people get worried that we are only discussing loans and credit and things like those. I want to tell you that we are becoming more innovative in how to finance development. There are new instruments that can enable us deliver on public infrastructure using private resources and technology. Made the decision that we are going to change the regulations and the law governing savings in Kenya. Why? Because investment is a function of savings. You cannot invest if you don't have any savings. You have nothing to invest. And just for your information, China, savings in China is 55% of their GDP. In Kenya, we were at 8%, maybe 9%, maybe 10%. It is my intention to push savings as a percentage of GDP to between 25 and 30%. That is where majority of countries are. And because of the changes we have made, the good news is that while we collected or saved 320 billion shillings for 60 years, in 2 years, we have doubled our savings, just in 2 years. By the end of this year, we will have 650 billion shillings saved because of the changes we have made. And by 2027, we will have 1 trillion saved. That is why I am not very popular with people who don't want to save. But for the people who want to save, they know what difference that is making. And that is how we are going to stop borrowing from other countries. We will be borrowing from our own savings to finance our own development.
The honest issue we have, I've been here for 15 years, and I can tell you is the most important question. To designate Kenyan workers coming to China, the biggest job here in China is teaching English. Kenyans here, they are very good teachers of English, and I'm a lecturer. I teach world history in an international high school. Kenyans can be able to teach English in this country, not only one, not two, but in drones, 100,000. Just last year, we had 672 billion Kenyan shilling remittances from Kenyans in diaspora. Early this month, the DTWG team led by Dan Mokile, which I'm a member, met with the Prime Cabinet Secretary. They had a diaspora going on. Congratulations. PS Rosalind Jogu was there. She's done an incredible good job. She's assisted us a lot, and we are happy. First of all, let's congratulate the President. Mr. President is the first person to give us a diaspora department. We've waited for a very long time, from the Kibaki administration to Uhuru administration, and when you came into power, Mr. President, asante sana, you gave us the diaspora department. Now to the question. We would like Kenya to be designated as an English-speaking country. And why this is very important, because once you designate Kenya, even South Africans, they don't speak good English like we speak. Once you designate Kenya as an English-speaking country, in your bilateral talks with Xi Jinping, we can be able to get work permits to work in China. That's how it goes. Designation, and then number 2, work permits. Once we get work permits, this one's going to have a lot of teachers in Kenya coming to work here, and you don't need to be a teacher to come and work in China. You can come and work in China. Then the business people, once the work permits are out, the business people can be able to have visa reciprocity. Because workers can be able to get working visas, even the business people can be able to get those 2 years visas. The students, I don't know if the student is here. Is there a student leader? The students who are in China cannot work in China. The same part will make the students also be given the permission at least to work and not depend on their parents back home. So, Mr. President, this is the most important thing. As far as Kenyans in China are concerned, this is the most important. My question, with the same designation of Diaspora Department and the Prime Cabinet Secretary here, can you assist us, please, get that designation of English, then move forward and get those work permits so that we can bring Kenyans here. The 672 billion shillings we're talking about will trickle to 1 trillion Kenyan shillings.
So did you say you want more Kenyans to come and work in China? Very good. So I hope you help me answer the many people in Kenya who tell me that I am exporting Kenyans. You know? I have a big problem with I have a big problem with people who are telling me that I should be creating jobs for people in Kenya, which I'm trying. But if there is opportunity elsewhere, I mean, is there anything wrong with Kenyans accessing opportunities elsewhere? I hope some people are listening to this so that the people in Kenya who are fighting me and telling me I'm exporting people, they should understand that we are in a world that is a global village. And we should explore opportunities everywhere. And I am very proud of the Kenyans who have taken up the opportunities that are available, that are available globally. And it is the reason why I set up the Diaspora State Department. So already it is in my radar. And CS for PCS and CS for Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, together with Roslyn Jogu, my PS for Diaspora, are seized with that matter. We have signed several bilateral labor agreements that provide the framework you're looking for. It is our intention to pursue the same bilateral labor agreement that will also provide for Kenya being designated as an English-speaking country. In any case, Kenyans speak the best English than in any other country in Africa. And that is the correct position. So you're spot on, and you have given me an assignment, and I intend to report back shortly.
I've been here for close to 20 years now. And being here has meant that I have worked tirelessly to promote our beautiful country, especially in matters to do with tourism and education. I head the Institute of Kenya, Africa-China Languages and Cultural Exchange Center at TNG Normal University, which actually is working with Kenya Bureau of Standards to do research on coming with the most or the best quality of avocados to be exported to the to the Chinese market. That's one of the things that we do there. However, my note would be for tourism, because being here, China is a huge country with a huge population. And if we can get at least 1% of Chinese people into our country, we can raise our tourism revenue so high. However, we need platforms to do this. And this is to the, in the case of live streaming. We can use social media so much in portraying our beautiful country. We can have influencers. You know, influencers do a good job. We can have influencers to go around in our tourist sites and to at least showcase our country and reach out to the Chinese audience. And so my question would be, would there be a department to help us to do this?
We need a partnership with every Kenyan, because ultimately, each and every one of us as patriots have a responsibility to play in making Kenya what we all want it to be. So from wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it is important that you see how best you can positively profile our country. Just to inform you that on matters tourism, you're spot on. In fact, tomorrow we will be signing an agreement between Chinese media and our communications authority on specifically matters to do with tourism. And in fact, for the last 2 years, you may have noticed that with one of the Chinese channels, we've been live streaming the wildebeest migration out of Kenya. And in fact, this year, I intend to be part of the occasion. And I think last year they live streamed for, I think, 3 days continuously. And we got huge response. In fact, our tourism numbers from China went up to 91,000 last year because of some of those interventions. The whole tourism sector, the numbers grew by close to 450,000 last year, going up from about 2 million visitors to 2.45 million visitors. It is our intention to move it this year to 3 million. And some of the interventions you're talking about, Dr. Njeri, are the interventions that will make us achieve the number 3 million, progressively to 5 million visitors in 2027, hopefully. So we will find the mechanisms. I'm sure Balozi here knows that we will be signing the agreements tomorrow with the Communication Authority of Kenya, with the Chinese media. And from there, you can connect people like Njeri into the ecosystem so that we can all play our role in supporting the tourism and pushing the tourism numbers for our country.